Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here today with a new Eldritch deck profile, except this time it has a twist to it. I'm incorporating the Evil Eye engine, so I'm calling this deck Evil Eldlich, and so I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm just gonna start off with like the hand traps of my choice right now in the current format. I play 3 Ash Blossom and 3 DD Crow. I believe that these are like the most impactful hand traps in the current meta. I play 3 Zerziel, which is like your engine essentially. It's a normal summon, which gets you to Evil Eye of Selene, and I'll explain that more once I get to the equip spell. It also searches a counter trap, by the way, which people don't know about, which is absolutely broken. Then you play the 3 field spells. So this field spell is super nice, and it has a lot of synergy with Lord actually, because you can just send this field spell from the field to the graveyard, especially in Lord, for free. The graveyard effect is actually super neat. When it's destroyed by the card effect, you can actually recycle your Zerziel to like so which means that, and then you can then re-equip it with Selene. Also, when Evil Eye Domain is in the graveyard, Selene can actually banish the field spell and then add back the equip spell back to your hand. So that's how you like continuously like loop these plays. So yeah, I for like maximum consistency, to like see my starter, I play 3 Zerziel and 3 Evil Eye Domain, which is the field spell, and then the 1 terraforming. So that's like essentially 7 ways to get to like my normal summon, or essentially 7 normal summons in the deck, which in a deck that doesn't use normal summons, I believe like that's really good. So like if I can like open a hand where if I open like Domain and Zerziel, like that's totally fine too, because this can just be sent by Lord. And then when this is in the grave, like I said before, it has synergy with Selene. So Selene is why I play this deck, or playing this like engine as well. Is because literally if you read it, Zerziel becomes Dragoons. Like literally read it. Zerziel becomes Dragoons. It says that when it's equipped to Zerziel or an Evil Eye monster, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. It also cannot be targeted by card effects. Like that's absolutely like insane. And so also like each time you activate the effect, you lose 500 life points, or every time you activate the equipped monster's effect, you can gain 500 attack, and you lose 500 life points. Or every time you activate an Evil Eye spell or trap, like the Domain or like the counter trap, you also lose 500 life points, and then it keeps buffing up your Zerziel. So here's the synergy: when Zerziel is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, it has a quick effect Dryden. So if this is not Dragoons, I don't know what is. So essentially, I'm playing Eldritch Dragoons right now. Like that's like my comparison. Like it literally cannot be destroyed by battle or targeted or destroyed by card effects. Like what? Are you serious? You know how many decks in the current meta like cannot out this card? It's like absolutely insane. And of course, I play the counter trap. So this is the counter trap that literally says reboot can't even negate. Like that's how broken this counter trap is. So the reason why I played this, because the theory behind it is like, you know, everyone's gonna like, you only lose to evenly. That's like the only real like card that you lose to, like Lightning Storm. Like I'll show you guys, I've gotten Twin Twister, Lightning Storm, evenly. Like the only card out of those 3 that I just listed that really blows me out is evenly matched. Evil Eye Retribution literally negates, and it's searchable. And I like counter traps that are searchable instead of playing Solemn Judgments, because you're relying on RNG to like actually draw into it. And Evil Eye of Selene is actually not a brick, because if you open up with Zerziel, that means you get like the Selene and the counter trap. And the counter trap says that if you have the Evil Eye of Selene, which is the equip spell in the like spell and trap zone, the activation of this counter trap cannot be negated. Alright, like bro, it literally says you cannot judgment it, you cannot reboot it. I'm resolving this 100%. Your card is not resolving. Like that's actually insane. So that's pretty much it for like the Evil Eye engine. It's only 9 cards, which is why it's perfect with Eldritch. Because the Eldritch engine, if you like really like take a look at it, it's around like 21, 22 cards. And so like that's like the perfect ratio in my opinion. Because then you can play like the 3 extravagance for consistency, and then play 6 hand traps to have like a going second capabilities. And now I'll get into like the Eldritch engine. You play the 3 lords, like no question asked. Like this is like standard. It's just like so good. It's a level 10 Meluseek, and then it has a reborn effect, and it can't be destroyed. So like you guys see the theme here, like Zerziel, Eldritch, like literally cannot be destroyed. Like it's so good. Then you play Curse Eldland. This card is like, I mean, not much to say. If you watch my other deck profile, this card's absolutely insane. It's a Rhoda, a Foolish Burial Goods, a Foolish Burial, or like a Rhoda for any spell or trap disruption with like within your archetype. It's absolutely insane. Then you play 2 black and 1 white. I've mentioned before, like I don't like 3 blacks. I personally just like to play 2. And I only like to play one white just because like it literally does nothing for you unless you hard draw like the Lord as well. So that's why like I only played the one white. It's the white is nice, and I am considering bumping it up to 2 because it plays around Ash Blossom really well, and like you don't want to get Ash in your red and not have access to the Lord to trigger off like the secondary effects of your lands. Then you play the 3 red, which is like literally the best elixir in like the deck, and I think it's actually one of the best traps in the deck, just because like it has like a quick effect. It's not restricted during the end phase. And like it's just like so good. Then I play the 3 extravagance, like I said before, for consistency. But these are my elixirs. I play 6 elixirs and I play 9 lands. So the lands, my choice of like disruption, I max out on them. So I maxed out on 3 Conquistador, 3 Haquero, and I decided to play 2 Counter Trap in this variant just because it might get grindier with Zerziel. And if I can like search a second Counter Trap and while like they're in the simplified game state under Zerziel, continuously getting Trident, like that's just like game. And then I play the 1 of Guardian just because he like comes up sometimes where you want to make like an attack 0. Just because like they might try to like if they have like a card that's really hard to out, like for example like Avermax, you can get like Zerziel, you can like Guardian them and then just beat it over with Zerziel, because sometimes it's hard to get Zerziel to 3100 attack, and it's nice because Avermax doesn't even work on Zerziel. That's so broken. And then the 1 of Foolish Burial Goods, just for like even more consistency, like searches any card in your engine. So super nice. I'll go into the side deck next, which is like the 3 Nibiru. Nothing to say about this really. It's like absolutely insane. Destroys like it destroys the rock deck, but it also doesn't. Like it's like kind of iffy, but you still side it in anyways, just in case they like whiff and don't get access to their 5th summon, or before 5th summon. What do you call it? The level 4 synchro. Which negates the effects, or if they don't get access to their guardian. And then you play the 3 Spear Mode. I think this card is like absolutely insane. It has so like it has really good synergy with Eldlich, because it comes back to you, and because it's a level 10, you can just overlay for like the trains and just OTK. So like Spear Mode is so good. And just sometimes like they make such an unbreakable board that literally you're only out to like Spear Mode. But like I said, that's why you play like Extravagance. You play the 3 Cosmic Cyclone for the mirror. Here you see I don't play Lightning Storm, and because I just don't think Lightning Storm is that good compared to Cosmic Cyclone, because the only thing that I'm putting in Lightning Storms for, yes, it's good against combo, but realistically, most of these combo decks are already siding like cards like Anti-Spell and like other ways to like negate the Lightning Storm. Like even the Dragdite, which is like the water synchro, negates spells and traps, so like that's like not really good. Like that's why like I just play and tech in the Spear Mode and like the Nibirus, and like have 3 Ash and 3 Crow. Like if they open up Godly, it's kind of like there's not really much else you can do, you know what I mean? Like 3 Lightning Storm is not going to make a difference in my opinion. And so I choose Cosmic Cyclone because in the mirror, Cosmic Cyclone is godly because it has the effect where you it's a quick effect, so you can respond to when they activate a land, so you can banish the land before it gets to resolve, and that lets you like make technical outplays on the opponent, which lets you gain advantage and like kill your opponent. So like Cosmic Cyclone is absolutely insane, and the fact that it banishes in the mirror is really good because it stops their engine. Next, you play Evenly Matched just because it's like literally so good. Like having your opponent's cards banished face down, like there's not much to say about this. Evenly Matched I believe is like a staple in 3 of in every single deck. And then the summon limit, because essentially if you're going first, if you can have Zerziel with summon limit, like it's just a game. You know what I mean? And summon limit, I believe, is like the reason why I'm siding it and not maining it is because it's terrible going second. And if I'd rather have it guaranteed that I'm going first if I either lose the roll, if I lost like game 1, I'd rather side this card in because like not a lot of people will play around the summon limit. And like with Zerziel, you can just search the counter trap to like ensure that summon limit doesn't get popped, or like you can search like the counter trap for the Eldlich engine and just guarantee summon limit doesn't get popped. And like most people can't play through like the summon limit, and they can't even get access to Phoenix in that sense. So like summon limit is like super insane. For the extracts, you play like the standard like ratio, but with some tech. So you play 2 Pallades and Volcanosaurus. I like Volcanosaurus just because sometimes it comes up where like burning your opponent actually like wins you the game. Because there are situations where you have 2 level 5s and actually 2 level 10s, and so you want to Volcanosaurus them and then Gustav max them, and like sometimes that's enough because they won't expect it and they actually will be like in kill range. Of course, the 2 Lieb. Then you play like one Gorgon. It sometimes comes up in which like you actually want to link the Zerziel into a Gorgon, and it's essentially like a quick effect. What's the best way to explain it? It's essentially like that DDD card but it's for monsters, so it's a quick effect imperm essentially. And then it has a second effect where it can during this next standby phase after the effect is activated, you can actually just destroy one monster this card points to, and so like that's like super neat. And also like keep in mind like when it's equipped with Celine, right, like it can't be destroyed, it can't be targeted, it can't be destroyed by battle. So like this card is absolutely nuts. Phoenix is like insane. I like Phoenix a lot just because like if the opponent gives you like an arrow to point to, Phoenix, the ability to dump and draw one is super plus because like these cards all float for like the Eldritch engine, so like it's just like more plus. And like popping a back row is sometimes necessary. And the one of Link Spider because you want to link away your land sometimes, just so that you at end phase you can use their effect to search you an elixir, which gets you back a Lord to like continue playing. You play the 2 Anima just in the weird situation where you have to like normal summon your hand trap, aka DD Crow, and then punish the opponent for like not playing around zone 2 and 4. Or if you Nibiru your opponent and you put the token in zone 2 and 4, you can Anima and take that. Then you play the one of Vampire Sucker just for that one situation in which you have a Lord and a land, and there's not really much you can link into, so you go into like the Sucker just so that Eldritch goes to the grave, so you can use Eldritch's effect to return back from the grave, and then essentially like kill your opponent. Okay, that's pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. This is something that I've been testing and playing on rank, and I really like it. So yeah. Now I guess I'm gonna go into like some gameplay for you guys just so you can see how this deck functions. So without further ado, we'll go right into the gameplay. Alright guys, now I'm gonna show you guys like the gameplay and how the how this deck functions. So I won the dice roll here, so I like to go first. I open up terraforming, which is super neat because that means I get access to my engine. Like I said, I play essentially 7 ways to get to the Zerziel, so like I'm like opening it is like fine. And so here I automatically bait an Ash from the domain, which is fine because this happens a lot. Like you're always gonna get like they're always most likely gonna Ash this, and he also like open up really busted. So in this case there's not much I can do except set the white in the Haquero, which is fine. And so we're playing against Salamangreys today, and so essentially we have 2 DD Crows in forms of interruption as of right now, and we play around another Ash with white. So my opponent's gonna start off and then open up Lady Debug, which is like pretty good just because I don't have like a pop or anything else to overextend. So he's gonna search Gazelle right away. He's gonna link it off, go into like standard like Salamangreys play, get to the Bailings search Sanctuary, and I think here's gonna activate Sanctuary, relink the Bailings, and then trigger Gazelle just because Salamangreys monster went to the graveyard. So gonna Gazelle effect to dump a Foxy. He's gonna use Foxy's effect. Here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chain. Here's the chain sequence that I recommend you guys do. Essentially when you do this, you would do chain link 2 Haquero, which essentially, and then you do chain link 3 white. So white would summon Lord first, and then in chain link 2 would resolve Haquero, which would then on chain link 2 banish the Foxy, allowing it to not resolve. And so that's a really cool chain link, which allows you to like play around like they don't know what you have, and so like it lets you interact with your opponent. Next what I'm gonna do is he's gonna use Jaguar's effect, and then I'm just gonna DD Crow that as well, and then he has to shuffle back his Bailings because it tries to resolve as much as possible, which in my head the reason why I didn't immediately DD Crow it is because I actually want him to shuffle back his Bailings because I don't want Bailings in the grave because I want to beat over his cards. So here in this situation he's gonna use Gazelle and Bailings into Sunlight Wolf, and he opened up so nuts. He has a Monster Reborn as well. Like that was insane. And so he's gonna Monster Reborn back the Gazelle and then add back Ash, just to have another form of interruption on my turn. Next he's gonna link both of those into the transcode, and then bring back the Sunlight Wolf. So like right here he developed a really good position, and I still don't know the other 2 cards in his hand, so I know he has Ash at this point. He beats over my Aquarelle, and it's buffed by 500 because it's co-linked. And then he attacks this. I thought that was weird, but then he realized during damage step, he showed me the Prohibit Snake, which I don't know if that was necessarily correct because adding Eldritch back to my hand is kind of plus. So I was like, sure, that's totally fine with me. And now at this point he's just gonna pass. I top deck Ash for turn, which is not great, but I'm just gonna banish the white and then banish Haquero at end phase just so I know he has Ash at this point, so I know red is not resolving, but he didn't draw that well. He drew into like at this point I didn't know. He's gonna attack me for 300, attack me for 28, and so at this point in time, if you're wondering why I didn't activate like Conquistador to block the attack, save some life points, is because Prohibit Snakes has a graveyard effect that people don't read. It literally says that when a Cyberse monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it can banish itself and add back any Cyberse level 4 or lower to the hand. So in this case, if I activate a Conquistador, because I know Elixir of Red Scarlet Sanguine is definitely getting Ash, then he can add back a Zell and then play. Because I saw him immediately go into a battle phase, I knew that he didn't have a normal summon, because there's no reason why he wouldn't go into like an OTK right now. So and like there's no reason why you wouldn't normal summon Foxy first, or like normal summon Jack or anything else. So I knew at this point in hand that like whatever he has in his hands, they're absolute like bricks. Or that they're just not useful, because Salamangreat mains a lot of hand traps, so I thought either it could be like a Phantasma or a Nibiru that's just not live. I knew one Ash is there though, like keep in mind. So there he's gonna relink the using Sanctuary, and then he's just gonna set one and pass. At end phase I activated red to bait the Ash now at this point, and then I'm just gonna activate Conquistador to like just summon, just so that I can use the end phase effect on the next turn. Okay, so now I top deck Golden Knight Forever, another bad top deck. But guys, here, I'm going to do a really critical play here to like beat this board. And it looks like I'm down in a lot of resources. I don't have much. I have a red in the grave, and that's pretty much it. A Lord in hand that if I send Forever, it's kind of neg because Forever doesn't float. So at this point, I'm going to do something that most people wouldn't think of. And that is to first set Conquistador, and then make Link Spider. So at this point, I'm kind of like making him think like, what is my game plan? Like he might think that I'm just gonna go pass on like Conquistador at end phase, and which will search me another red. But instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna normal summon my Ash, and the reason why I did that is because I can make Phoenix and dump my Eldlich, which will pop the back row, which I was really afraid of because I thought it was a roar. To be honest with you, like I wasn't sure what it was, and I was like really afraid of it. So here I'm going to go Nightmare Phoenix, pitch Lord, which gets Lord in the grave, and I get a free draw. He's going to chain the Rage, which is like super unfortunate because I was like, dang, he had the Rage. He had to have the Rage, right? But that's totally fine. So he'll pop my Nightmare and pop my set. But I still draw because on activation, it was co-link. So it doesn't trigger, it doesn't try to think on resolution. If Nightmare Phoenix on activation was co-link, then it still draws. So in this case, I still draw one. And I drew into an Eldlich, which is like actually a lot better. And so I'm just doing Eldlich effect to like search. And here at this point, I'm like thinking what I like do, and I'm just gonna search Haquero. And here's the main reason why. So I know that Conquistador is gonna get me a red at end phase, and so unless he has another Ash, I'm totally fine. So at this point, if I search Lord, which is like can't really do much because these cards cannot be targeted, because they're co-linked. So at this point, I knew I had to search a land to get a disruption because Conquistador will get me access to Lord at end phase. So that's why I searched a land instead. And then so I use Lord effect to send a domain, which is something that I talked to you guys about, because when this card is in the graveyard, once you get the Evil Eye in the grave, you can recur your Evil Eye. So that's like really cool. So here, I didn't want to send the land because I already have like a lot of like lands in the graveyard, and I don't want to use up more resource than I need to. Because keep in mind, at this point, I have 1 Aquarel, 2 Aquarel, 2 Conquistadors in the grave. That means that because I play 3 and 3, I only have 1 Aquarel left and 1 Conquistador left, and I didn't want to use land. I didn't want to send the land yet, and I wanted to get more value out of it, because if I were to send land for cost now, I would have to dump another land. And I didn't want to like dump another land just because like that means that I'd lose that interruption, because I remember, keep in mind, I only have 1 DD Crow and 1 pop left. So at this point, I send the field spell, and he has it. Like, he drew Godly. He has the DD Crow, so he DD Crows my Lord. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm fine, because I know now, I know his entire board. I know his entire graveyard. So unless he top decks an Ash, I can actually play and survive. So I banish Conquistador here, and I get like the red. And so he opens up. I didn't know what he opened, but I assumed it was like pretty poorly. At this, I mean, we see here that's a Nibiru, which is totally dead. So I summon Lord, and here's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna shotgun my Haquero, and then so if you guys want to pause the video, what do you think I banish here? My opponent has a Sunlight Wolf reincarnated and a Transcode Talker, and then 1 random card in hand. So in this case, if you guys can resume the video, I banish Rage, and this is very important because I don't want him to recur another pop too. Like, I just don't have the resources to grind at this point. Yes, my grind game is technically better than Sally, but if they add back Rage every turn, it's very unfortunate. I saw that his Gazelle is in the graveyard, so he has to like hard draw another one, but I also have a counter trap. So even, and then the thing is, in main phase 1, let's say he top decks like a Lady Debug or a Foxy, I can just activate Forever and then negate that and destroy it. Which is, and then and tribute my Aquarelle and sort of tributing my Lord. Which is, I believe, a lot better. And at this point in time, remember, he still cannot get over Lord because transcode is at 28 and Lord's defense is at 28. So here he goes to battle phase, I believe, but he decides not to attack my monster because he doesn't want me to banish Lord and the Golden Land and get a plus. But I think that was a bad misplay because he could have attacked Aquarelle, banished the Prohibit Snake, and then add Gazelle to hand, normal Gazelle, and then I would counter trap it. Yes, that's fine, and then he can actually protect the Gazelle from dying with Bailings and then make some more plays. But instead he does not do that, and he went straight to end phase, and now we've entered a grind game in which he didn't do anything, and so I'm gonna go essentially +1 on him at end phase. And now I'm trying to think of ways to like win the game from here. And so the first line of play here is to I'm actually gonna make another Phoenix. And so I want to draw into a card, and I want Lord to be in my graveyard, and so that's why I did that line of play, because I don't have another Lord in the grave. So here I send and I pop Sanctuary. He's not going to protect it, which is actually correct, because Nightmare Phoenix is actually going to beat over this after I summon Lord to beat over this. So he's going to pop it, and I get a free draw. I drew black, which isn't great. I was actually hoping to draw like Zerziel, which is why I wanted to like go to the Nightmare Phoenix play, because if I normal summon Zerziel, I can then like go into battle with Lord attack Coder, effect pop, he'll protect it, gains 500 attack, Phoenix beat, and then Nightmare, and then Zerziel attack directly, and it should be automatic game from there because he can't deal with like Dryden. And a non-destructible, non-targetable, non-battle killable card. So at this point now, I'm going to use Eldlich effect to search another Lord, and the reason why I want to do that because I know that I can get rid of his Sunlight Wolf. So I'm going to use Lord effect to summon Lord from the grave. I'm going to beat over Transcode Talker. He'll take the damage. I'll attack the Sunlight Wolf so he banishes his Bailings, which is a resource in the grave for him. And then this is what I meant. I add Lord because I want to use both of these to send the Sunlight Wolf, because I know that now I have a counter trap, and there's not much you can do. I'll banish black to get like the disruption, which I saved by not sending land earlier. And then I'll banish red to get the pop. So I have a Dryden, I'll banish, and end phase I'll get back another red. So this is like a game state in which like it's impossible for me to lose. I have like a DD Crow, a Dryden, a counter trap, and like ways to like recover. So there's not like a lot of ways he can do anything to me. And so I'm just gonna shotgun red, and then just so I have the counter trap live without tributing my boy that's non-destructible. And so at this point he admits defeat, and like we go into siding. So now he elects to go first, which makes sense. And I drew Nibiru. So like that's a really, really good opening. He Silent Mining's a non-Cybers card, and so I was like interested in seeing why he did that. He gets searches Buffalo, normal Buffalo, makes Bailings. Bailings would then search Sanctuary. Buffalo dump the Spinny, draw 2 cards. He activates Sanctuary. He's gonna make the Sunlight Wolf. He's gonna relink the Sunlight Wolf, and then I immediately Nibiru on the 5th summon because I don't want him to add back Rage. The reason why he didn't search Gazelle here is because he already hard drew the Rage, so there was no point for him to search Gazelle. Because as long as he gets to his 5th summon and gets to the Sunlight Wolf, he'll add back the Rage. Here I Nibiru him, and then he's just gonna, I think, set 1 and pass. Just because like what else can he really do? Like even if he goes bring back Sunlight Wolf, like he can't really make the reincarn, which means he can back Rage at any point in this time. So here I draw, I open up Zerziel. So I'm gonna open up Zerziel. He's immediately gonna get met with Ash, which is fine. I'm gonna go Eldlich. Eldlich searches Big Boy. The reason why I did this was because at the start of every round or turn, I always think, is there a way for me to game my opponent? And at this point in time, I realized that I have Nibiru and a Zerziel that just got negated. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, that's if I search Lord and send this card, how much damage can I do? And you have to keep in mind, Lord gets an extra 1,000 attack when it comes from the grave, and if I use this effect to send the token, that means that Lord would be in the grave. So at this point, I'm like 3,016. That's at 4,600. So 46 plus 35 is 8,100. So I knew I had game at this point if he doesn't have any form of disruption, aka a DD Crow. And so I was just like, dang, like this should be game. And like, you know, quick math, guys. Always think, always do the math. If you can kill. And so here I'm using Eldritch. I'm gonna send the token. I'm gonna use Lord effect, special summon back the Lord, and then I attack. And there it is, guys. He should immediately concede, just because that's 8,100. And there it is. That's pretty much game. But yo, guys, thank you so much for attending. I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile and like some gameplay to like showcase the deck. As you see, like Yugioh was insane. Like it baited out an Ash every single time. Which is like nuts, because let's say he doesn't have the Ash, right? Then that means Yugioh resolve. But also, let's say even if he does Ash, that means that like my red elixirs are gonna go off. And if red goes off, that means that all my lands are going off. So like Yugioh is like almost kind of a bait. It always feels neg to Ash to Yugioh, because at the end of the day, I still have a monster on board. So they went -1 and I went 0 in this instance. So that's why I really like this normal summon. And yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if this is like a deck that you would pick up. And if you guys do decide to pick this deck up, check in the description box below for a dueling book link to this deck. But yeah, overall, guys, thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who takes the time to watch my video. As you guys see, I've been trying to upload as consistent as possible. I've also been streaming quite a bit, so if you want to see more live gameplay of myself, also check out my Twitch. Shout out to my sponsor as well, Team Luxury Gaming. And yeah, guys, check in the description box below, comment in the comment section below if you have any thoughts, and also don't forget to please like and subscribe. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.